Hello, welcome to another episode, a very delayed episode from the last one of, what did we decide to call this? Moguls of FBA?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Chatting about all sorts of stuff, weren't we? Amazon and life and business and all sorts of stuff, ways to make money. But yeah, you're saying your friend makes money from streaming online. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's loads of ways to make money online, guys. How's your month going on Amazon?
I've took a different approach to this month's in terms of not really too concerned about profit. It's the last month before Q4. I've took it to basically clear out all of dead money. The stock was just sat there and it's not moving at all. To prepare myself more for Q4, to put more money towards profitable products, especially things like perfumes and toys, etc.
Nice. A Q4 prep, very important. We all know that Q4 is like really important. And of course, our other host has now suddenly decided he's going to be coming on 5 minutes, but we'll carry on anyway. Yeah, Q4 prep, really important. I mean, I've started Q4 prepping like last month, which is kind of crazy because I just realized the opportunity for Q4. But then the problem I ran into was I was spending too much money because I was buying not only for now, I was buying for Christmas. And this was in August.
Yeah.
So suddenly I had a very looming Amex bill and not enough money to pay it off. So it's a bit concerning. I had to actually do a drawdown on Capital on Tap for £5,000 because I was 5,000 short just for a few days. So that was not very good money management on my part, but I know it's going to pay off when Christmas comes around, when I'm rolling in money, hopefully anyway. So
Most definitely.
yeah,
Most definitely. I had not a similar situation because obviously I didn't run up that much on the Amex, but I found myself to have a lot of money tied up in stock that was unnecessary, and I think that obviously clearing all that out to be able to spend that much more money without the worry of coming close to Amex bill with not enough money. It's not a position I want to find myself in, to be honest.
No, yeah, it's not the funnest thing. Every day I'm like, have I got enough? Have I got enough? Come on, Amazon, pay me out that money you owe me. So,
I don't know about you, but did you have that problem when you first started?
No, I've never had that problem until last month. I don't want to sound like an arrogant prick, but I've never like run out of money until recently. And there was that I've always never had had more money than leads until the past sort of month or two, where I've had more leads than money, and this month as well, especially more leads than money. So we're definitely running out. So definitely understanding how a lot of people feel now when they run out of money. But it's just part of the game, I suppose. You can take loans out, you can use credit cards, obviously, to supplement these things. But in the end, I guess just you got to grow organically, I suppose, and just accept that you can't buy everything. And I guess if you've got too many leads, then you just start trimming off the sort of iffy ones, I guess. So the ones aren't quite as good, and start taking the cream of the crop, basically.
Like those things that we was holding for like a year.
Yeah,
that's a perfect example of me.
God, when are they? I don't know what's going on with those, but wow, someone's pinging on Discord.
It's my phone delay.
So yeah, for me, I mean, good month so far. At the moment, what am I on right now? Let's have a look. 5,254. So pretty good. Pretty happy with that. 49% ROI. Maybe I'll pop these on the screen for you so you can see. So very happy with how my month is going so far. The only worrying thing for me is I'm seeing what I'm selling right now, and it's all like stuff that I bought when it was like a really good sale. So when that stuff runs out, I'm going to be like, I'm going to be struggling maybe to make these numbers next month.
Yeah.
Like a lot of WH Smith stock where I absolutely rinsed that site and got some killer deals. I'm like, okay, I'm selling those now. But I guess you're just waiting for the next deals to come along, aren't you? So, and obviously with Q4, it's going to be massive. So, but yeah.
When one door closes, one opens.
Exactly. Always. It's a never-ending hamster wheel, isn't it? So
exactly. There's always something new.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely. And even if it's not very consistent, eventually when they do come in, hopefully it makes up for those months where it was a bit slower. So, but yeah, obviously those things that come along are like the bumper profits. But then, hopefully you build a consistent business without those. And then, when they do come in, you just make an extra profit. So, but yeah, and obviously buying seasonality as well is really important. So last year, perfumes for me, I did not have enough. I sold out by November, basically end of November. I had a few left over, but I don't know. Yeah, should have put my prices up or bought more, basically. So
I think we was both in the same boat last year because we went crazy on perfumes, and then next thing you know, November comes and we're all sold out.
Yeah. True.
And then when you want to go find those leads again, they're all gone
Oh
because
yeah, too
this
late by
point,
then.
you know, there's no more sales. It's finished.
Yeah,
Then you want to hope that whatever you have bought, that it tides you over through
yeah.
December.
Even
I got quite lucky actually. I did have some products that kind of tied me through
okay.
December last year.
Yeah, that's cool. So there's definitely some ones I'm on the lookout for, but I've not bought yet. So yeah, I won't say what they are, but they're they're pretty good ones. But I've got none of them right now, which is a bit worrying. But I've got other ones. But yeah, for me, the biggest like thing that I realized was prices, how much they went up. Like there was one that was selling for about 84 around September time, October time. Slowly rose up and rose up until literally a few days before Christmas. I got a sale for 145, £150. Again, I'll pop that on the
Oh,
screen
blimey.
for you. So I think I had 10 units left, and every time I sold a decent number, I put the price up and up and up and up. And then my last one, I was like, oh, whatever, just make it 150, see what happens. Yeah, I got a sale, no problem. So it just shows you, obviously, you're not going to get
That's
the sales
crazy.
volumes of those, but I was making ridiculous profit. Um,
That's
but it's one
crazy.
of those ones that was sourced from a reasonably popular site, and everyone kind of panic sold them in September, early October. They just held them for,
Yeah,
they're expensive to be fair. They're not cheap. They were £45 each. So if you've got 10, 20 of those, then you got £450, £900. Then I guess it's a lot of money to have invested. But when you're making those big fat profits in December, it's worth it.
it's worth it. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, it's just trying to
absolutely.
find that stock though. It's a race to find the stock.
Yeah, the stock I had last year, I don't think I'm going to find that again this year, just because of what it was. It was a Lego 2K Drive Nintendo game. I will
Oh
say
yeah,
this
yeah, I know that one.
back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
Olympic. Yeah, yeah. So from Argos, I ended up picking up 30 of them. Be honest, I never sold them on Amazon because you wasn't allowed. So obviously no one was ordering them. So I put them on eBay. I was making like £6 a unit.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
adds up,
does yeah.
almost
eBay.
£100 profit.
I neglect eBay to be fair, but there's so many deals. Like as you know, I'm massively pushing Cookieta right now. There are so many opportunities in there of brands. There's so many good deals that of brands that you can't sell on Amazon. Hugo
Mm.
Boss, Calvin Klein, all sorts of ones like that. There's got to be some deals on eBay for those to sell. Yeah, make.
Yeah, I mean, I neglect eBay more so now than I did prior,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that was because when at that time when I was selling on Amazon, I was on VAT reg, and so when you have an eBay account, it's an individual, it's not a business account. You can
yeah,
kind of stick with that until you know. So with that, obviously, I ended up having the fees off, the 70% off, the 8% off. So which obviously made a massive difference in terms of selling. I think that had I not had them fees, I don't think it would have been anywhere close to as
No, that
profitable.
is the tricky thing with eBay is the business account
Fee.
is totally different to personal account. You get none of those promotions.
Yeah,
You are
they're
getting
giving
whacked
nothing.
full rate every time.
I heard they give you I've heard they give like one a year,
Maybe
if you're lucky.
I've not seen them.
Oh, here he is.
Hey, here we go.
Here he is.
So you're right. How's it going? So we're midstream, by the way. So we're actually recording right now. So
Yeah,
you're jumping
nice one.
straight in. We thought we'd start without you. We're just talking about Q4. What are you doing for
Oh,
preparations for
all
Q4?
sorts. Pretty much just preparing in terms of like what's going to sell well. So making sure everything that I know is going to sell well is going to be in stock in time because I think last year I got caught out by that. I think I was sending stuff in a bit too late, so I ended up missing out on some good sales. So even now, I've just managed to pretty much send in all like sort of my Lego. Um, I know what I need to be sourcing this year anyway, so it'll just be the case of, like I say, getting it in now, or maybe even in October sort of time. Then I'm not sort of rushing around in November, December. So
Yeah, I think this year is gonna. I think the check-in time is gonna be
yeah,
really bad. I've seen people already moaning about check-in times already. I know last year wasn't too bad, but I think this year is going to be really bad. So I get your stock in early. So you know what you?
Would you
Oh, go ahead.
would you not say that obviously well last year I didn't find check-in times to be that bad in terms of Q4
Yeah.
check-in times. I thought they were actually really good
Well,
than what was expected. So obviously where they have cut down, I think probably on the staff. A lot of the staff's gone on holiday. You need to remember it was July August time, and a lot of the people who work at Amazon they take holiday during this period before Q4 because I have heard that Amazon don't like you taking holiday around the Q4 period just because of how busy it gets. So obviously, with that in mind, and them not having to pay as many staff, obviously that leaves them a little bit more of leeway of having the funds to get more staff in for the Q4 period. So obviously to help with the check-in times.
Yeah, you could be,
because obviously that benefits the customers, doesn't it? At the end of the day,
you could be absolutely right. It could be absolutely fine, but I guess for me, I'm just like making sure I get it in now, even if I have to pay a little bit of extra storage. Because already, again, I've seen people right now. They're trying to send their dangerous goods in, and they're saying there's no fulfillment center
Yeah, it's
available.
happened to me
So
a few times
I'm just
previously.
thinking, there you go. So I think getting it in early this year, it might pay dividends when everyone else will be crying. They've got all this amazing stock to sell with huge profits, and they can't get it into Amazon. They're basically going to have to FBM it or just wait and hope that it checks in time. I could be totally wrong. Who knows? There's no way to predict it. So the best you can do is prepare for it, I suppose, and like I say, get it
Yeah,
sent in
100%.
quickly or early, I say. But so Adam, you said you know what you're buying. Well, tell us all the leads. What you're buying then?
Mostly
So,
RA stuff, but it's going to just be depending on how much of it I can buy. So, because ideally, I don't want to be spending too much on RA stuff, but it's a difficult one. That's why I always say people try stick to one thing as opposed to try and be like an octopus and do too many things at once, like RA, OA, and private label and all that. Like I say, I've just had a big order, two big orders with private label, which is taking like a dent in funds, but then I know that's going to pay more in dividends for like Q4. And it's better ROI. So like for me, that's going to be better than buying my RA stuff because for time as well, like you've got to then think how much time are you spending doing RA and then packing it and all that. When you could be you're probably missing out on leads with OA and 8OA. So it's I don't know. There's never really a right way, I suppose. It just depends on your strategy.
It's too much money out there. That's the problem. Too many
I think
opportunities.
fast sellers is going to be better
You
for
have to
me
give
than
up
the
something to
stuff that's
take the
just
other
sitting
one.
there. So I know with RA it's going to sell. So, you know.
Yeah. I think RA is going to be huge this year as well. I'm not a big RA person, but you know, when Q4 comes around, I am definitely looking out for those gift sets, those
Still
deals at
waiting for certain items to
supermarkets that
drop,
are going
aren't
to
we?
do
With
really well.
there hasn't been much sales wise online,
Yeah.
has there? But hasn't been much
Not yet,
happening
no.
with RA either. So it'll probably all come at once, won't it? And probably be overwhelmed.
It's the calm before the storm, I think. The calm before the storm. I think this month, sorry, is going to be the big month for it.
Although
And then yeah,
there
as
was
soon as
some
October rolls around,
something
we're
decent
going to see
dropped
that
at Sainsbury's
Christmas stock in.
recently.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure which groups. There might have been a few groups ping it, but that was probably the most recent I can remember with RA. Everything else has not really much been happening. So
I need to get into some sort of RA group so I can see the leads, but
no,
yeah,
I
I have to
mean,
find one.
to be fair, like you probably haven't missed out too much because 8OA has been decent, hasn't it? But for me, it's going to be OA because I'm going to have a busy sort of October, November, December anyway, so I might not have much time to get out in the shops and stuff like that. Not unless there's going to be something massive where it's going to be like you sort of do that thing where you're kind of out all day and spend one full day doing it. But
I don't have the time to do that anymore. The days of me going out and spending a full day on RA, unless the profits are crazy,
I mean,
gone for
ideally,
me.
you want to hire somebody to
Like
do it, but
today,
you've got to think of the cost of that because you'd have to get their own car and all
yeah,
Mm.
I'd have to be damn sure that every store they go to has got the stock. I know exactly what I'm making every time they go in, so that's definitely tricky. It's
Yeah.
definitely doable, but
that. I think with RA as
yeah,
well,
tricky.
it depends on where you're at, but you don't really want to be spending too much time scanning. You kind of just want to get in there and get out, don't you? Because obviously times are the essence as well. So,
Even when you know what you're looking for, if you know exactly what you're looking for, going around the stores takes time because obviously you've got to drive to the store, park up, go in, find the stock,
yeah,
pay for it. You know, sometimes you run into problems with checkout people, load up the car. That takes time every time. So you might plan a route with like 20 stores. I bet you
depends on
couldn't do
your
it
thing because obviously,
in
like
one day.
there was a drop at Lidl not that long ago. People will probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry,
I saw that.
But that being nationwide, that
I
was
saw
like
that.
sort of, so you get all the people sharing it on Facebook, obviously non-Amazon sellers. So you had to be there early. So I managed to get I went to 4 or 5 stores and I got my sort of share. But when I went back around to the closest one I went to, within like the same morning, that was all gone. So I had known obviously other people were sort of, they must have seen it on Facebook. That's usually where I see like reselling stuff. Not reselling, sorry, just like people on Facebook Marketplace like that.
General
These are
deals.
the kettles, the
Yeah,
toasters. These are the
pretty
stuff.
much.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
There was
Yeah.
bread bins
so I managed to
and stuff
get
like that. They did really
I managed to
well.
get quite a bit, but I was getting like little staff come up to me going like, "What's going on? Like, why is everybody buying so many kettles?" And then they realise the price, but the problem is they're not the ones dropping it. So I think it must be the night shift
Yeah,
workers. I don't know how it works because I was curious because he was like a manager as well. So I was like, "How do you
yeah.
not know the prices?" But yeah,
Probably.
It was advertised well in advance as
that's why a
well,
lot of people were
about
getting it,
like a
and
good week in
there was a
advance.
lot
And
of drops as well. Not
Oh,
even with
really?
yeah,
Amazon stuff. There was quite a lot of drops just from like sort of there were like a lot of electronics had been dropped. There wasn't really much for Amazon. I'm not sure about eBay, but I don't do eBay. But I noticed quite a lot of people were buying like toasters and stuff. So there was quite a few drops, not even just like kettles and things like that. It was quite a bit because a lot of people were buying like loads.
yeah.
But yeah, that was like an early morning thing. So you've got to get in there like quick with RA. It just depends. But for me, it's not too bad because I've got replens with RA. So like I know certain items, but definitely when there's drops and stuff, you've got to get out there because I know for a fine fact now where I live, I didn't realize how fierce the reselling community was and how many people are actually. I know for a fine fact a specific group that's got nearly over 20 people in my area, and I know they do RA. So like, yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
fierce. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I would say you're very lucky they haven't found your
Yeah,
replens.
yeah. People are lazy. People are lazy. They just buy. I mean, I'm lazy to be fair. I
Yeah,
buy what
yeah,
pings. They don't do anything else. So if you don't do the research, yeah, it shows.
yeah. I mean that little thing. They were getting pinged in groups with
I
like
mean, I
thousand
know the stuff will
members
get bricked,
plus.
but it just
It's
yeah,
inevitable.
it's quite fast selling stuff, so it'll get bricked. You'll see the seller count go up. It might take 2 weeks for the buy box to catch
Yeah,
up, and then after that, you'll see it increase in price because it's like a really fast selling item. So
yeah. I had fast selling it, but
Mm.
is there any profit in it after gone to the bakery, bought yourself a
yeah, I
drink?
know that's what
There's
people
no
were
money
saying
in it,
when
is
they
there?
because
With
that's the
the
thing with Lidl when you first go in.
no. No, it's just a bit of a joke we're having in the FBA Moguls group. People are saying, "Oh, there's no point doing little RA because by the time you bought yourself a
I do
bakery
like Lidl to be
items
fair.
and you drink," and we're like, "What are you talking about? What are you, do you go every Lidl store you go into like right? I have to get a
Yeah, I do
bakery
like
item now."
Lidl to be fair for that.
Oh yeah, little bakeries. Yeah, there's a guy in
Top
FBA
tier.
Moguls who used to work in a little bakery, so yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Q4 obviously, yeah, big. So what has been going on for you this week then? Anything
Me,
exciting?
just a complete headache to be
Yeah,
fair.
anyone?
Yeah.
I had two
Oh,
different
why's that?
IPs against my private label
Why's that?
items. So
Oh,
yeah,
someone's
with
going
it
after you, are
being
they?
because the ranks went that high, I think somebody's blacklisted it. Um, just my PPC manager was basically saying like, what happens is so like we know what Amazon's like, so they'll jump on it straight away as soon as they see IP. Somebody complains to you, like even if they haven't got any evidence, that anybody can make an IP against you. Essentially,
Yeah,
the
Mm.
only way you can really get around it is if you've got a patent for that particular product, you can obviously submit that as evidence. But 9 times out of 10, most private label items are already been sold by over like, say, like for mine, for example, like over 100 different sellers sold sell the item. So nobody can have a patent for it. Otherwise, only one person could sell it. But Amazon are stupid like that and they don't realize that and they just jump on it straight away. So all you've got to then do is kind of submit your invoices just to prove that you're actually buying it from a manufacturer. And that's going to hopefully be the way to get around it. But yeah, that's been a bit of a headache, which is it's a learning curve as well. So
it's the Wild West, isn't it? It's the Wild West in Amazon sometimes with these private label stuff. It's good to hear
yeah,
like the
Mm.
downsides of it, like this. I mean, I've heard things in the past where they review bomb you or do other things like that when they see you get successful. But I do not like the fact that Amazon do this. Like, obviously, you get IP.
I can imagine it happening with wholesale as well. I bet that's an absolute nightmare. Then I've got nearly 3,000 units just sitting there and stranded until this gets sorted out. So
it's crazy. It's
No
terrible.
blimey. That is a lot, yeah.
Because I know Amazon and I detest the fact they do this, that they allow, and it often happens when people are like the brands on the listing or whatever, they'll do a counterfeit without test buy, which I think is just disgraceful. They can do that. How could they know it's counterfeit without a test buy? It's just, I do not like that at all. So I've actually got one right now. I can't fight it. I can't. The person I bought it from will not give me an invoice. It's probably they're the ones who actually gave it to me. It dinged my account.
This is why I'm saying to people, you've got to diversitize and not just sell on Amazon, because things like this can happen, and it's all good when it's going well, but it can just go bad like within a blink of an eye. And if that's if this is your daily job, your full-time income, that's how quick it can just go. I mean, I hear of people with wholesale having problems. I know certain sort of brands all of a sudden just not letting people buy. I've had it myself with OA stuff. It happens, and it's an absolute nightmare, and you've got to recall all your stuff. But yeah, essentially you can't find out the seller that made the IP claim against you, but for some reason I can't. I don't know why. There's just I can't see. If I could see, then I would know who it is, and then I'll know where sort of they're ranked, and I'll see why they've done it. But yeah,
some Chinese seller.
The reason why I want to know who've done it is because I want to see if I can do it. I want to see how easy it is to actually be able to do it with somebody else, like another seller, because there must be somebody can't just make a claim and it'd be so easy for Amazon just to block you. I'm not sure. It's definitely something to discuss about in the future, but yeah, it's been an absolute headache for that. So
yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses and big nice circles from seller. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, it's not all perfect, is it? It's not all big numbers on Seller Toolkit. Sometimes it's pain in the... So I mean, I'm going through my own hassle right now. This month, I'm changing my accountant from Awesome to RT Accounting. So RT Accounting being pretty good, to be fair, but that's going to be a headache.
How long have you been with them now? You've just started the RT Accounting, no?
So my internet's lagging a bit. I totally missed that question.
Yeah, I see. I said, how long have you been with RT Accounting?
Literally just today, basically. Yeah. Yes. My internet says my internet connection's slow. Really annoying. I might go and hardwire in. I don't know what's going on. If it continues, I'll just take a quick break and check it out. But moving to RT Accounting. Like just today, I had a call with them. I just bought Zero, bought Link My Books, all this kind of stuff. So they're going to help me with I've got multiple companies, so they're going to create essentially what is like an umbrella corporation above them, which is kind of interesting. So I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be honest. Yeah, just 100%. Fun times though. Yeah. So Osama asking me, why am I leaving? Why am I leaving?
Shit.
I'm just gonna obviously tell them, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I never gave them a reason.
Yeah, the accountancy firm I've got is pretty decent as well, and it's definitely helped me out a lot because I've noticed it'd be hard to do it all by yourself. That's for sure.
Yeah, I do have to do the bookkeeping myself. But I'm going to train my VA to do that.
What exactly is it they want?
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I pretty much do the same thing. I do my own bookkeeping on Zero. I think once you've done it a few times, it becomes quite straightforward. I mean, I've done mine today. It took me to catch up from where I last was, which was around the 20th of August till now. It took me about half an hour.
So it's not too bad.
It doesn't take that long.
Yeah, that's good.
Certain transactions I'm going to get my VA to do it. Like, for instance, it's really weird. Like, when you're buying stuff off Amazon, things like that, because I don't think they're linked to that. Mm. So I think that's why they've been asking. I'm not sure. I can't even remember why, because I normally have forward all my devices. So yeah. But they do occasionally. I think it's like occasionally stuff I might not have forwarded, something like that. They always just ask me just to chase it up. Nothing too strenuous.
There's always a few straggling things, I suppose.
Yeah, I tend to have 3 Chrome profiles, and each one being logged into Amazon. I don't know if anyone else does the same thing. And then all I'll do is I'll go through my payments on the payment section, and then I'll just link it to Zero. So whatever the payment is, I'll just link the invoice to that and just download them and drag drop.
I'm just breaking up. I'm going to take
So
2
what
minutes.
is that you do? Just put the
No problem.
sort of just have two open at the same time and then link it, sort of thing.
Okay, so on zero, obviously you'll have the payment that's come out. So for example, if you spent £100, then I'll have the free Amazon profiles open, and then I'll go on. If you go to accounts and you go to payments and look at transactions, you can see where you've made that £100 transaction. Therefore, you can just go to the invoice, download the invoice, and just drag it drop to zero. But, yeah, for me, that period takes me 5 minutes to catch up. I mean, that's from the 20th of August. So was that like a month's worth? Not that all my payments are to Amazon, mine, but
Makes sense. It
the
makes it so
Amazon
much
ones
easier
are
for you,
the
doesn't it?
most straightforward. Personally. Yeah, it does. Yeah,
All right,
Yeah.
hardwired in now anyway. So hopefully,
it should make a difference.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking internet. Still
yeah.
seems slow.
Wireless problems.
What did you do? Just take the wire out and put it back in?
No, I'm on wireless, but I've hardwired myself in. So hopefully that'll make it better. But we'll see anyway.
Should do. Should do.
In theory, yeah, I kept tripping over it. So, but,
Is that why you took it out?
yeah. I
So
took
what
it
was
out
the
and then-
Oh, right.
yeah.
the meetup like in Nottingham? Was it any good or?
Oh, the meetup, yeah, Cellaramp meetup. What day was that? A Saturday sometime. I can't remember now. Last month.
Mhm.
It was amazing. Yeah, there was like 100, 150 people. I don't know. I'm very
Wow.
bad at judging how many people there
quite a
were.
turnout.
It was like I thought it was going to be like a conference, but it was actually more of a cocktail bar sort of meetup, hangout sort of place. It was good.
Everybody just talking to each other and things like that.
Yeah, met loads of people.
Was everybody just
Everyone
talking to each other and
was
stuff
there?
like that?
Yeah, just like mates hanging out in a bar, basically, just going around. Yeah, just hanging out, chatting. It
Getting
was
all
really
your
good, to be honest,
contacts
really
in, stuff
friendly.
like that.
It was, yeah, just networking basically. I'd say probably like half the people there were new or like under 6 months on Amazon, which is really good to see. Obviously, quite a few
Okay.
experienced people as well. It was easy for me because like lots of people recognize me,
Celebrity
which is
now.
quite nice. So they kept coming up to me. I'm not very good at like maybe
Celebrity.
networking with people, but they obviously people coming up say, "Oh, what's your YouTube?"
Was it
Which is
weird?
really weird, but obviously very
That's pretty
motivating
good.
as well. Yeah, but also good as well. And not everyone you might
Really?
expect as well. So you might project, what your viewer looks like, but then when you actually meet your, I guess, fans in person or people viewers, then it's interesting to see that they're all
Really?
from all walks of life, basically. And like, yeah. It's
I think that's
it was
the good
great.
thing
I
now,
loved it.
isn't
To
it?
be honest.
Everybody
It
is
was
just
way better than I
completely
thought.
like different.
Different.
Yeah, exactly. So it was way better than I thought it was going to be. So I enjoyed it so much that I'm going to start
Yeah,
hosting
so
my own.
that'd
So
be
I
good.
need to actually call up and inquire about that. But because people were saying, "Oh, we need these more than once a year," so I was like, you know what, we
Yeah,
do.
100%. I think they're
But
good
yeah,
for people on there to go to and things
it
like
was
that.
amazing. Yes, it's good
I
for.
think.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the next Celeramp one, me and Adam need to actually turn up.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, it was announced quite late, to be fair, so I can see why people didn't go to it. But yeah, I met all sorts of people there, like obviously some very big experienced people, some new people.
Is there a
It was
cost
just
to
a
go? or
good
no?
mix of people. And no, it's free. No, and they had really nice food on there. It was an open bar as well, so which
It
no
was
one
free.
abused, which was good. Yeah, it was free. Yeah, I don't think you realise how much
Jesus
Cellaramp
Christ.
makes.
I would be drunk.
No, but to be fair, I spoke to the Cellaramp, the owner of Cellaramp, and he said no one was like, no one abused the bar. He gave instructions, said if anyone's going crazy, cut them off. But no, everyone was very respectful, and didn't go too crazy. The food was very nice. Overall, it was just, and obviously the company was very good as well. So it was just overall just really good. I was so disappointed when it ended after 4 hours because I was trying to go around and meet everyone.
It's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah,
They go fly by as
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, for 100, I think you said around 150 people or so for that kind of turnout to then be able to network with everybody. That's very short.
No, exactly. Yeah. So
and then 4 hours fly by as well.
Yeah, I met a few Discord friends that have been chatting on Discord for many years. Finally met them in the flesh, and yeah, it was really good. So if you ever get a chance to go to one of these,
They're always going to
things,
be so
definitely
far
go,
away because I'm like completely out in the sticks compared to all you Southerners. So like, there's never going to be one near me.
Yeah.
Maybe Scotty might do one or something like that.
There might be, you never know. Why don't you host one? So you could do, or at least you don't have to do like a big one. You could do maybe a smaller meetup. Potentially, people might be interested. So I'm not promising anything, but my plan is to try and get 2, 3, 4 of these going every single month. My first one is going to be in Nottingham because obviously I've never run one before, and that's obviously my local town. I know I'm going to get the same venue that we did this one in, that Silla Ramp in, as my introductory one, and then I'd love to do one like further down south, up north, wherever basically. So I need to, obviously it's all about building the brand, and obviously of FBA Moguls. FBA Mogul, my obviously brand as well, and then just getting, it'd be good for people as well
100%.
to hang out. So yeah, and I'll try and squeeze Profit Sweep, Spence to maybe become like a sponsor for it, but yeah, like I mean, Cellarant, they spent a bit of money. They paid a lot of money for the food. They paid obviously a decent amount for the unlimited bar. So overall, probably cost them 5-6 grand, maybe something around there. So I won't be doing anything like that, but I don't have to provide food necessarily and things like that. Or maybe a limited bar to begin with, or charge maybe just £10 just to cover. I don't know. I don't want to really charge. Not a fan of that, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to host those. To be honest, because I think it's a sorely needed thing in the UK anyway. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's with Cellamp, obviously the amount of members they've got, I think they can afford to do events like that every year. I mean,
absolutely.
Every single Amazon seller has a Seller Amp subscription.
Pretty much, yeah. If they don't want to use the best tool, BuyBot Pro, then sure, they've got Seller Amp. So yeah. So yeah. But no, yeah, really good. So you guys should have come, but anyway, it's fine. You can come to the next one. I expect you. If I host one, you better be there.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm hoping.
I just worked it out. You're around 2 hours away from me. By train.
Yeah, it's not that bad, is it really? So there might be some good giveaways as well in there. So
it's just important for networking, isn't it?
Worth people to come along as well. Networking, yeah. So weirdly enough, actually, so my cleaner, her sort of like nephew does Amazon. I've heard, like, she's told me multiple times, he does wholesale Amazon. Got into it maybe a couple of years ago, same time as me, or maybe a year ago. I actually met him at that event, didn't realize until afterwards. And then she was like, "Oh, by the way, he met you." And I was like, "Oh, who was he?" He showed me a picture. I was like, "Oh yeah, I had a good chat with him." So it's just kind of crazy, isn't it? That people are, yeah, it is, to be honest. It really is. So, but yeah, next one will be in Nottingham around Christmas time, November, December, probably.
Yeah, I think it's just mental, like how many different avenues there is. Like you'll learn so much because you'll just see somebody else doing something different. You're like, it's a good idea, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the big talk at the moment, obviously in my group FBA Moguls, we're all hanging out in the evenings in a little live chat thing, waiting for the price drops to come in around midnight. TikTok Shop seems to be one that everyone's talking about right now. It's a crazy thing for like private label and
I've just set mine up,
OA stuff as well.
I need to get my list back in Amazon, then I'll go from there. But yeah, definitely something I've heard of as well.
Yeah. So people are going crazy on TikTok Shop. I don't know. Apparently, the prices on there can be crazy, but I don't know exactly how it all works. I'm not familiar with it, but yeah, I need to definitely get onto. Yeah,
I don't know what their fees are like.
I'm going to find out when I do it.
Oh, okay.
So my understanding is, though, the way that you get the sales, though, is you need to offer a good commission scheme to people, and then you'll find that other TikTokers, like big ones that have lots of followers, will then start promoting your goods for you if they get like a 30% cut. So if I'm trying to sell the iPhone or whatever, basically I'll say, well, I've got a bunch of iPhones. If you sell one, I'll give you 20% cut. As long as you build that into your profit margins, you'll find some big TikToker comes along with like 1 million followers, starts doing it. They make a few grand, you make a few grand. It's all good, isn't it? So
yeah. Oh, that's quite interesting.
It's like affiliations. So like,
exactly, yeah.
Essentially, you want to try and get, but the problem is it'll be hard to get in touch with somebody that's got 1 million of followers because they'll just get loads of DMs all the time.
I don't think you necessarily. I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm assuming they can see what products are available and what the percentages available are, and they can essentially choose to promote or
go direct.
So as long as you're giving a good deal, and they're like, well, I can just do a quick video on this little widget or whatever, and then they get paid out a few £1,000. It's not too bad, is it? So it shows you
Yeah.
how
So
social media is
essentially,
crazy.
essentially, it's like having an investor with no money.
Essentially, yeah. Well, it's just like any affiliate thing. They just promote it there, like
Mm.
I do. I've got an audience. I've got members in my group, and I can promote stuff to them, and I get a cut for it. It's essentially the same thing, except it's it's selling a physical product, and I'm selling
100%.
software, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's definitely something to
yeah.
get into,
That makes
but
sense.
Powerful
I'm
stuff.
not sure on it yet, so it's hard to sort of talk about it in detail.
Yeah, this is the power of networking, though, and being in this group, FBA Moguls. If you're not in it, by the way, join. Link below. Shameless plug there. Even today, someone said, "Oh, have you tried this site?" And I was like, "I've never heard of it." I won't say what it is because I want it to get out there, but I'll tell you guys later. Maybe I will. I'll link it in the description. I was like, "Oh, wow, I've never heard of this site before," and it's like an amazing site to find
I thought
deals.
it's
So I
like
was
that
like,
other
"Oh,
group
that's
that
really
I'm
good."
in on WhatsApp, like with that website. I never even heard of it until somebody mentioned it, so I would never have known about it if I wasn't in there. So
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, really. So networking is good, and not hoarding knowledge, because if you share knowledge, then people will share it back. And I will actually, I can't tell you what it is because I actually can't remember the name of it, but I'll look it up and I'll link
I
it
don't think we're going
below,
to have
or I
enough
can maybe
like
look at it
sort
now.
of cash now with that another particular website that you're on about, and then obviously if this one's going to be any good, and I've got my other stuff, so yeah.
What website do you think I'm
What's
talking
that?
about? You can say it. What
Begins
website
with
do
a
you think I'm
Q.
talking about? Oh no, Cookieta. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
there's
promoting
that.
that
But if there's
massively.
something
So
else, I'm
absolutely,
thinking
you
in
can
my
talk
head,
about
Jesus, I'm not going to have enough because it's just that ample opportunity out there. It's just incredible, isn't it?
that. There is a site, and I'm hoping the person who told me this is going to be upset that I mentioned it. I actually genuinely cannot remember what it's called now, but I'll find it. Hopefully, I'm looking through my history now. But it lets you compare products from every single Amazon site,
Oh,
essentially
really?
European sites. So you can find
Okay,
arbitrage
that's
deals
interesting.
across Amazon. Yeah,
Was it like an
so
8
I
away sort
can't
of thing,
find
or
it, but I will link it below. It's a site that basically, like, you can search a product and then it will show you the price in Amazon UK, Amazon EU, Amazon France, Amazon Germany, and you can find arbitrage opportunities in the different European
potentially order
sites.
from
So
abroad and things like that?
yeah,
That's interesting.
I've not used it myself, but he was saying he's got his V on there 8 hours a day. He's always coming up with leads. So
That's
I think that's the
crazy.
thing as
yeah,
well,
it's an
because there's
interesting
just
one.
so many
So
different avenues, isn't there? It's absolutely incredible. But
yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
until you run
anyway,
out of cash, you're like,
it's
oh, I can't
yeah,
buy
and
anything more.
obviously with Profit Sweep as well. Again, link for that in description. Maybe I'll put a Nuffles one in there. Yours is one.
That'd be nice.
At midnight, there's all these crazy deals dropping from like John Lewis and stuff. Just some of the. Maybe I'll post some screenshots of some of the crazy ones that have dropped. But I don't know if you've seen them, Adam. Like some of the deals that have been dropping on
Oh,
Profit
at
Sweep
midnight, yeah. I
at
have
midnight and
been up
John
a few
Lewis.
times. I've managed to get some good ones throughout the day as well, to be fair. But I
Yeah.
think mostly it's midnight, isn't it, where the good stuff gets dropped?
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, so there was that Kenwood Chef that was normally £399.99, so £400, dropped
Cheers.
to £29.99. I think it was a missed price, and they cheers.
I saw someone post that. Yeah,
And there's some Sennheiser headphones
Oh,
that
really?
dropped from like two or
Yeah,
two or
you
three
definitely
hundred
have to
down to
wait it
20
up.
quid.
I don't think every
yeah,
night
yeah.
very good though, is it? But just some nights you get good stuff.
No. Last night, of course, the night I stayed up,
I've
yeah,
definitely noticed
there
good
was
throughout the
nothing.
day
The 2 nights that I've not been
because
there,
I'm not doing RA. So
yeah. So if I'm not online, there's a good deal coming,
what's that?
basically.
How do
So
you know?
that's the rule.
Oh,
When
right,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
there,
obviously.
there's always a good deal, basically. That's when I've got an early night.
The headphone one. I literally just gone to bed, and as I went to bed, it pinged, and I tried to add it to cart. On phone, it's just like it's a lot more difficult than it is on a
No,
desktop.
you haven't got a
I
chance. There's
missed
too
it.
many eyes on it. Too many people buying that.
No.
So
I saw someone cop so many of them. It's
if
crazy.
you're quick enough, you got some good deals. So
Yeah.
check out the links to those below
Yeah,
if you
I've
want to
definitely
join
found some
those.
good stuff throughout the day as well because I've just been in and around more. So like I haven't been like doing RA and things like that. Although, well, I have been, but just the times when I've been on like Discord or on my phone, I've managed to pick up a few bits which I never would have before. It only takes one, doesn't it? And that's
Yeah, that's good.
like your monthly thing covered, and then after that, it's just pure profit, isn't it? So
Easily. Exactly. Yeah. So there's too many deals at the moment. I'm missing out on stuff. Like someone asked me today, like, did you buy that deal that I sent you? I was like, no, I totally forgot to buy it. And I was like, I missed out on like £400 profit there. I was like, it's just too many deals. Yeah, that was a really good deal actually.
Well, that's like me. Like
too
while
many deals
things
at
is
the
blocked,
moment.
I'm just like I'm working out every day, like how much I'm missing out on, and it's just absolutely killing me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I know it's just a hurdle you've got to overcome, but it just absolutely torments you.
Yeah, see what happened is I saw Adam was going to overtake my profits and I IP claimed his listings. So
I'll
it's definitely
be probably about 50% down this month than I was last month, 100%.
That sucks.
I'll be open about it, but like I don't mind telling people the downside. It's just like it's the reality though, isn't it? Like how easy it is with Amazon to get done. Absolutely crazy.
But that can happen to so many businesses. If you're running an online business, you could be running even a basic site on Wix, for example, with a Stripe payment processor. Someone orders like 10 units or something, you ship it. All of a sudden, they open up a claim and they'll stop you from having any payments. Period.
Like, honestly, the more platforms you can get on, the better. 100%.
Yeah. Well, I think I mean, or just diversify income in other ways. So obviously for me, I'm obviously doing the group,
affiliates,
the affiliates.
I think that's why I still do my like RA and OA, because I like if I go all in on one thing and then like something happens, then I'm like, well, what do I do now? Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have that sort of blanket in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think Amazon's like I say, I love it as a first business, and then once you start getting success, you get those sort of entrepreneurial juices flowing. You start actually seeing some nice figures come into your bank account. You can start, either you can continue to scale Amazon, move into private label wholesale, but you're still within Amazon at that point. Or you can take some of that money and put it into something else. Maybe it's doing a YouTube channel, or maybe it's something totally unrelated to Amazon FBA. So, there's a guy in America called Duke does Amazon. He started off doing Amazon, made a lot of money, and now he owns as well as doing Amazon, it's like a microbrewery. So, he took his money and put it into that. It could be whatever you're interested in. So,
I do believe that Amazon could be used as a stepping stone, and eventually it could be like use the word lightly, passive, quote, to a point where you've got like a steady cash flow in which you can start investing into other interests.
Yeah, there's no other business I know, but maybe a few, but not suitable for us probably. But where you can basically make so much money in such a short period of time, or make your money spin up so much. If you're a good-looking woman, maybe there's some other sites out there that are better than Amazon. But
TikTok, that's what's happening with TikTok. That's becoming because of what people's doing with affiliations and stuff like that. People's just you can just like do it for other brands as well. You can be the affiliate. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Twitter is crazy for that as well. Instagram is crazy for that. Yeah, I think every platform is crazy for things like
I think the reason TikTok's taken off though, I think it's only America right now, but they linked with Amazon, didn't they? They did like some sort of deal with Amazon. Did, so not sure if that's come over here yet, but that obviously
not yet. Okay. Oh, it has. Okay.
Yeah, as I was saying before, we got cut off rudely by Virgin Internet, who have been messing around my connection. Yeah, one thing I do struggle with is embracing new technologies right now. As I get older, I'm 38, which isn't that old, but I do find myself having this kind of where I'm a bit not nervous, but like just not so embracing of new technology. So TikTok Shop, for example, something I've known about for a little while. I was like, nothing, not for me. But then you hear everyone talk about this opportunity. So, I need to get better. And ChatGPT was another great one as well. Like I've had to embrace that. So where people are using that.
I use that for my private label stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy, really. So it can be infuriating, but also it's amazing as well. So, and obviously you can see how amazing it's going to get in the future. So,
been designing some review cards as well for one of my products, so that's going to get included. So hopefully that might boost some of the ratings up.
Yeah, absolutely. You could even maybe A/B test them. Maybe I don't know how you actually get the results back on that one, but where you like put, if you sell like you've got 1,000 units, you do 500 one, 500 another, but it'd be impossible to know who got what unit though, unless you did it on different SKUs. Maybe
you can do it with photos as well on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's very important. Actually, you could do it with different SKUs, couldn't you? You could sell them on different SKUs, and then that way you'd know exactly under the same list ASIN, and then that could be interesting
Yeah,
to try and get.
someone was telling me actually, now we're mentioning it, and I don't want to forget about this. A big private label seller that I know was basically saying on the Amazon US site, when you're scrolling now, you don't. This is I don't know if it's a trial or it's gonna. You know what I'm gonna
Yeah, I
say,
know it
don't you?
is. Yeah,
There's no reviews,
yeah. It's
which is honestly
crazy.
that'll absolutely kill people.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That seems crazy because it's really, I don't know why they're doing it, but like when I'm searching for products on Amazon, I look at the reviews all the
Yeah, me
time.
It's
too.
the first thing. The main image and reviews is the two things that people look for.
Yeah, basically.
Um,
Yeah,
So
so I don't know how that'll work because if you're number one in your like category or something, I don't know how you'll stay like that. I mean, how would that even work? Because it's all about being on page one, isn't it? So like, I don't know how it's going to work because then they're still going to charge you PPC, so it's going to cost you a fortune, and you might just get clicks because you're saying all it is. People will just click on your product and not like it, then click on somebody else's, and it'll just be it'll cost
it's
you a fortune.
interesting. Well, obviously doing it for a reason, probably financial reasons, probably because they want to milk you for more PPC. So
That'll be why. But I don't know if
might
they
yeah,
be.
if they're testing or like better or like they're actually doing it. But normally what happens in the US normally comes over, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, generally
It will
speaking,
be
US
because of that.
does.
Because let's say, Adam, you could be having a 5-star product that you're just naturally, organically number one for that particular category. And then Lewis comes along with his dodgy product that's 1-star review, and he pays a fortune for PPC and is ranked number two. And then I, as a consumer, come along and I click on Lewis's one. Well, Amazon at that point have got paid. I then realize, oh, it's not a very good product, and then go back and click on someone else's. So that's probably why. So poor Lewis is paid for a click, and he's not actually got a purchase out of it. So you'll probably
That's
see
what
that
I'm
the
saying. You need to like
conversion rates will end up going
your
down
products
quite a
to
lot.
someone else as
But
well.
that makes a bad experience for me as an end customer if I have to go into the thing to see what the rating is. That's not good for me. That'll put me off buying from there. So it's a very
Yeah,
weird. That's the only thing I can think, but I'm sure they've got their reasons to do something like that. But
That's why you need your own
crazy.
website, don't you?
Yeah, but you can't get the traffic, can you? So it's like,
No,
you know,
yeah,
exactly.
that's the
Well,
issue.
they're not stupid.
you're the master of your castle, but your castle is a tiny little sand castle versus the giant castle that Amazon's got. So,
Unless you move to TikTok.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
with private label, it's definitely something you can consider.
yeah.
It's,
So
it's
you either need
still
to have a stellar product, stellar brand, or yeah, I don't know.
That review thing, that I don't know how that's going to work if it
I've
does.
heard about that. I mean, it obviously doesn't affect me too much, being just an OA seller, but a little bit of wholesale now. But yeah, for private label,
Wholesaler
yeah.
now. Simon's
Well,
on the
with
wholesale.
Cogita, I've spent 45 grand in the past sort of 6 weeks on Cogita. So, it's a gold mine of deals. Absolute gold
you've
mine.
got a lot of catching up to do, considering the other site you've spent 100 and however much it was.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. So people are still buying those, by the way. People are still,
Crazy.
I see it.
How?
Crazy. Hey, I went to the gym the other day and I saw someone wearing them. It's funny.
Oh, you've given it away now. Oh, yeah. That
Well, how are people buying them then? Because
I don't
they're
know.
supposed to only be limited. That's annoyed me.
No, I know someone who's still able to order. So they're a really popular backpack. Tell you what
That's
to know.
crazy.
But yeah. So, but yeah, it's I've still got stock. Selling slowly, but
Crazy.
it's yeah.
Did you manage to get in? Did you manage to get in that much? Did you before they banned you?
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, it's a good job then, isn't it?
Yeah. And some yeah, I've got a decent amount of stock to be fair. So yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, people are still able to buy. One of my students from back when I used to mentor, paid mentoring. I told him about it, and he's still able to order. He doesn't rinse it, but he's still able to order. So
I don't think I did either. I'm pretty sure they didn't say I couldn't order. It was just like you could only order one of each Fraser Plus item.
don't say
So
that. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
Strange.
But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, who knows? Yeah, what's going on? But yeah. But there's other opportunities. As one door closes, another opens. I was obviously very upset when that replan disappeared because that was probably the easiest replan I've ever had in my entire life. Barely
Yeah.
anyone on it, making loads of money per item.
it was the EU as well, wasn't it?
EU selling into EU as well. It was just a gold mine. Basically,
We should have told us about it earlier.
my first 6 months of Amazon was I'm pretty sure I did, but no one was paying attention. But to be fair, when I first discovered it, I didn't realize how big it was. That's the thing. I was like,
it's always
like,
the same. It always lasts, and then it just
because it was a new category that everyone had warned me away off, not to sell that category. I was like, oh, how much can you actually make from these? And well, it turned out to be a lot. So the first 6 months of the year, first 5 months of the year, I was basically cruising.
I don't know if you can remember, but can you remember that other website that, I'll just say it begin with a B. Can you remember that?
Yes.
And that was good for a while, wasn't it?
No, until the
you have to message in Discord.
No, I'll give you a clue. The threatening emails and
God, yeah.
That was a good website, but it never lasted.
It was a good website, but they started to threaten freezing money and
they're highly illegal practices that are threatening.
They weren't giving invoices or nothing, were they?
I mean, you can say what the site is because it doesn't matter, does it? I actually can't remember the name of it, but I know which one you mean, though. But yeah, they
didn't give out invoices.
No, they wouldn't. No, that was a private label brand, but they weren't selling on Amazon themselves. So, but that was. Oh no, they were actually, weren't they? They didn't know how to IP. That was the problem. But yeah,
they didn't know how to IP, and they were just threatening.
They must have been making a fortune because you could buy them from their site and make £5-6 profit, and it was selling thousands every month. And obviously, their cost of goods must have been
a lot lower.
Quid,
You think it would be in their best interest, wouldn't you?
I mean, in a way, maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess technically they are losing profit that way, but at the same time, they've got it's greed where it comes into it. It's like, do you want to get all? I mean, there's a risk when selling on Amazon. You have to deal with returns, things like that. So at least if we bought it off them, they might have made less money, but at least it's money immediately in their bank account. They don't have to worry about returns.
Well, it's like that other lead that we've just been on about 2 minutes ago. You'd think with that, wouldn't you, as well? But
yeah. Like with that one, even though when they messed up, I wouldn't return it. I'd just take the L on it because I knew the bigger picture was I was going to make more money. So I was the perfect consumer for them. But it just happens, really. You've got to find those sites that like to take your money. I recently had a coaching call with Flipping at 30, and he's just basically saying, it's crazy. I mean, it's stuff I already knew in terms of like this, but the sites out there, they just don't want your money. You're a whale. Yeah. You're a whale customer. If they're a casino, they'd love to have you. Like they love the whales.
Exactly. Argos are like that, aren't they?
Yeah, they hate whales. Yeah,
Argos are hit and miss. Depends. I think it depends on your local of how much of a job's worth they are, because my one is quite chill. I can walk in there.
Yeah, so I recently ordered something that dropped in Profit Sweep, and I got 10 delivered to one store, 10 delivered to another store. All of them got cancelled. So I went to one store, actually ordered them because I could see them in stock at that store. Ordered them in one of the stores, and the manager gave them to me. He wasn't very happy. You could tell he was like, he knew what was going on. I don't know why he cared though, but sure, he was unhappy. Went to the next store. The lady pulled the slips out, or it beeps in Argos. They get the little slips, don't they, at the printer to go and collect them. She's like, showed the manager. It's like, no, you can't have them. We don't allow bulk buying. I was like, oh, okay. Can I have one? Like, maybe we'll let you have one. Yeah. It's just like, why do you care? Like,
no, exactly.
And then she started blaming head office, and I was like, it's not head office. You've just cancelled them. So I don't know. Anyway, it's
that might be why mine got cancelled. But never mind.
I think they are clamping down a bit on it more now. So I think too many go try and split it into other orders. Like I don't know.
When I last went in there, they were chill with me, and the items I ordered, I'll be honest, took up the whole of their front desk. I had to borrow a trolley from B&M.
That's why they let you take them, because they're they were in the way. These small items, they could sell them to another customer. So you can do it for big items.
I had to take the trolley from B&M. Then I'm walking into Argos with a trolley from B&M, like the big massive ones. And I think prior it was a home base, so it was one of those type trolleys. So I literally to get in there and fill them.
I remember at the days of the hot tubs, I ordered a load of big ones from Argos, and they're like, "Oh, you've got 7 days to collect." So I was like, "Right, I've got 7 days to sell these now." And then I'll go and collect them. So I was using them as storage, but then they cancelled them after a few days. So but no, it's a funny little situation where all these websites they all spend millions of pounds every single year trying to acquire customers, doing advertising. Then you get someone come along who wants to spend a lot of money with them, and they just don't want your business. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's just this whole like anti-reseller thing, but you just got to find sites that do like it. So my brother today ordered some stuff, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're clearly a wholesaler. We're going to cancel your order." Okay,
All
fair
right.
enough.
That's
But
yeah.
from Heal for something, I don't know what. I don't know. I never
Yeah,
No
I think
idea.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've heard of this website. Yeah,
yeah. So
someone sent it to me last time. They cancelled loads.
yeah, they cancel. So you get these sites like that just don't like
Yeah.
anything. So it's fine. Just move on to other places. So I learned some good tips from flipping at 30 about doing bulk orders and stuff. So,
Mm.
but
You was talking about last time, just before we got cut off. You were saying about how difficult Amazon would have been without all these tools.
yeah,
So you know, I don't know if you how far to go back, but prior to the COVID days, reselling was booming. I mean, like the shoes, the Yeezys, they were going for like £600 each. If you cop them, you'd make loads of money. And the thing was, there was no competition, so there was so much money to make. Then obviously, like the same thing with FBA. Those people who started FBA so early, they didn't have any competition. It was just them and a few others. You didn't
I
have
don't know
like
how long that
200 people on the
was going.
listing or nothing like that.
Crazy.
yeah,
So obviously they just done it manually and made a lot more than they would now prior to such
yeah.
less competition. I mean,
I don't
everyone's
know
jumping
anybody
on
that's
Amazon.
done it more than 5 years, so it's hard to say. But I would like to know. I'd like to meet somebody
Me
that's
too,
done it for
yeah.
longer
To be
to
honest,
see
most
what.
people probably tend to move on to other things. They get their success, they get their money, and then perhaps they take their 100, 200,000 pounds and move it into something else that maybe they get bored of it. I don't know. Potentially,
Mm.
I see myself doing that as well. I don't really like leaving money on the table, but eventually, if my bank balance gets to a decent amount, I might just pack in FBA or just use it as a marketing tool and focus on the social media side of things like that. And
That's what I was thinking with my brand, like potentially
yeah,
selling it. So that's why I
yeah.
don't want to be
So
doing it. It's
Yeah.
like a hamster wheel, isn't it? I suppose you don't want to be doing that forever, but
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an interesting one,
So
really. So
that kind of goes back to what I was saying. So obviously the people that were jumping on it really early, because there was no competition, they stacked up loads of money, and then when the competition came after COVID, they must have thought, well, sorry, like I've made my money, I'm not going to start competing against
yeah,
all these people, and then they've
yeah,
gone on to doing bigger things.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but yeah, those that stick around can make a lot of money. Like flipping at 30's
Of
made
course.
860,000 profit. Before that's the gross profit. So before he takes off all the expenses and stuff like that. Still though, crazy amount of money. Got to the point where he makes a full time living just from the bonuses. If you get to that point where you're doing so much, you basically all your rewards and things like that are going to give you basically enough to live off.
Yeah.
top cash back and things like that. I know it's
Yep.
crazy, isn't it?
Cashback.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
spending that much, aren't you? So
Exactly. So imagine getting to that level where literally just the bonuses are enough to live off. Give you £2,500 a month, whatever your
that's
expenses
what you
are.
need, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
crazy, isn't
yeah,
it?
pretty much. Yeah, unless you're like some baller who's spending loads of
It's all
money.
it's all on your lifestyle, isn't it? Essentially.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
So, but I think the longer you can stick at it, obviously, for me, I just see it as an exponential growth thing. You get more experience, you know when to go deeper on products. You just realize opportunities faster. So,
That's why I don't
if you,
have any plans on like exiting it anytime soon because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just I don't enjoy it, so I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna, my plans are to get rid of like to stop doing it within a year because
mhm.
by within a year you're going to be at a better level. So you think, how can I take this further? So
Yeah, it's just
Mm.
another opportunity comes around that maybe is just you see it as a bigger opportunity. So actually, for me right now, even though I make crazy money on FBA, I actually feel like social media and my Discord group and things like that is actually a bigger opportunity. Not now. It's obviously going to take a long time to grow. It takes a lot, like a
but you're
normal
seeing
business.
it though, and then you've got like
Oh
that
yeah,
new
absolutely.
wholesaler
Yeah,
come in, that website. It's like you don't
yeah.
know what's around the corner, do you, sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So
That comes along as gives me a bumper, month basically, because obviously they're paying a lot of money for
incredible.
customers. So it's insane. Yeah, but obviously you've got to be out there to take those opportunities. So,
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, for me, I just see, and obviously with TikTok Shop, all these things, social media, I never realized, I was never someone who consumed social media. I hate social media really. I'm not a big fan of it. I used to watch YouTube. That's about it. But it's enormously big, basically, and it's the
Yeah.
future and it's only getting bigger as well. So if you don't really, I mean, even now, I probably don't grasp. I'm like a 6 month old Amazon seller who doesn't quite grasp how big Q4 is. Basically, the equivalent of that in social media. I don't realize how big it is. And I've got such a tiny following on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
Depends if that's what you want your life to be, though, isn't it?
Sure, yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. I ask people to jump on a live call, and they're like, "No freaking way, I'm not interested." Obviously, everyone's different, aren't they? So for me, I can see the opportunity there as being enormous. I obviously enjoy doing it as well. So but everyone is different.
I actually quite enjoy doing this and enjoy helping people. The reason why I haven't taken the plunge into doing these sort of things yet is because obviously I've been busy with other stuff, and I do try to think one thing at once. But I'm like looking at the long term, thinking how can I sell it, which I know you can, but it's for me it's like, and you'll know you've got to build the brand, haven't you? So it's going to be full on, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want your life, I mean, it is a lifestyle, isn't it? Essentially, really, when you think about it.
It is. It is.
Yeah, do one thing at a time, but
yeah. I'm all happy jumping on live. So obviously I do Twitter, X, call it now. I don't do Instagram. I don't do YouTube.
I wouldn't think it, right? But I actually hate laptops. I hate how to say it. Like I don't particularly like phones. I don't like electronics. I'm not very good with software.
You boomer.
I'm like the total opposite of what probably an Amazon FBA seller needs to be. You wouldn't think it, but I actually hate it all. And because I'm not that type of person. Because of what job I had before. Yes, but that's probably why I haven't made the plunge, because I'm like the total opposite. I'm like an outdoor kind of person. Each to their own at the end of the day. That's probably why I like RA as well.
Definitely,
because I like being out there.
I'm an indoor person, but yeah.
Me too.
So
but I actually quite like managing people as well. So
I'm not a fan of managing people.
No,
but that's what I'm saying. Like everybody has their own what they like and what they don't like, sort of thing, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't like. Probably I wouldn't be able to do what you do. 100%, I couldn't.
No, same.
But that's not that you're doing it wrong and I'm doing it right. It's just everybody's got their own way, haven't they?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what makes the world interesting, doesn't it? It'd be boring for all the same. So
I just hate computers. I hate laptops. Just
that's all good. It's probably a good thing to be fair in a way.
All the systems, I'm really it takes me ages to figure out.
Yeah, you can't live without the technology, but you don't want to get
technology. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. You don't even know the word for it. That's how much you to test it.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I use it to what I need, but I think ultimately, it just comes down to working smart. That's why I like delegating it quite a bit, because I'm like time, but also because I'm like I can't do this for 8 hours a day. I need to be like, I prefer managing people. I prefer being out there, but each of their own, you know. There's not one way of doing it, is there? Really, let's be honest.
No.
Yeah. So that's the biggest lesson. I was thinking about this when I was trying to sort my internet out and punching my router. I was like, the biggest lesson I'd teach people now would be that when you start your Amazon business, I'm trying to teach this to my younger brother now as well, who's doing Amazon FBA, is like, build for scale now. Start thinking about scale now. So think about how you're going to automate your invoices, how you're going to outsource everything. Because now I'm basically doing big numbers, and I'm trying to build it in after I'm already relatively large. So it's much better if you can do it from day one.
You're going to start getting all your accountancy stuff right.
Get it all set up in anticipation, of being big. Yeah. Have that vision. I know it can be a bit scary, but and it'll make life so much easier. Because like right now I'm trying to do so many different things and I've not got good systems in place for any of them. And I'm end up doing things really badly. So imagine how much better I could be doing if I had this all automated, and how much time I could spend to social media and stuff like that. So it's
figuring out what works for you as well, like what you're good at. Like for me, I work better at night, but some people work better in the mornings. You know, this is why I miss a lot of 808, because I'm out and about, so I'm missing all of 808 when I should really. But that's just my way of doing things. That's because I'm not up late at night, so I miss 808. And I'm not really on my phone all day either throughout the day, so I miss a lot. But because I prefer working on a night, so it's just there's not one way of doing it, is there really? But I definitely would say just get your systems in place from the start, which I didn't do.
No, no one does it really.
Still figuring it out now, really, to be honest. So
the only guy I know who's done it is D-Offs, who I interviewed, Callum. I think Callum. He's like the kid who's already into ChatGPT. He's like building systems from day one. You know, he's obviously good at that kind of thing. Most people don't do it. They try and build it in afterwards. But that'd be my biggest advice. Because people don't have that big vision. They don't know if they're going to do Amazon for very long. Why should I bother doing this? It's like I was saying to my younger brother, I was like, you need to get a prep center. Just get one now. Get a prep center. Stop delaying it. You know,
I still don't have one.
Yeah,
I
stop
couldn't do
delaying
the
it.
amount. I wouldn't be able to prep the amount I order. If obviously
But-
RA is different, but
Yeah.
even RA you can scale it, and I can't even scale it because you would just how much stock would you have? But with OA, I would say if somebody get a prep center, help yourself out.
With RA, the way to do it is like find the closest prep center to you where you can just drop it off, even if it's half hour away. Just basically load it up in a van or a car and just drop it off every week or so. But yeah, like it obviously depends what you're doing. Whether your entire focus is FBA, and if you haven't got much money, sure, do the prep to begin with. My younger brother is trying to do his sort of paid Quick Eater group. He's writing the software for. He's trying to do FBA at the same time. So I'm like, well, you can't do it all. You've got to like prep. Just pay someone to do it. You know, it's such a hassle.
It's all the practical stuff, isn't it?
It's everything to do with it. It's carrying the box up the stairs. It's a nightmare. So
it depends because some people don't want to do this as a full-time job. Some people want to just do it on side. So I reckon RA is probably the best thing you can do if you're just doing it as a side hustle.
Sure, man.
RA, OA, 100%.
But most people don't have the time to go and do RA. They've got like a couple of hours every evening. So that's the
depends if you do though. Some people do, don't they?
Yeah. If you do have time, absolutely. But yeah, for most people,
on your situation.
Yeah, most people I talk to, because obviously I offer the 15-minute calls now, to people. Most of the time they say they don't have time to do RA, even though I'm like, that's where you get your best deals. They've got a couple of hours maybe in the morning before the kids have woken up. They can't necessarily go out and do a big run then. Or
like I've just had a sale from B&Q which was 400% ROI, and it's like where I live, and this is what I'm saying, like to where Lewis lives, it might be different, but I've got like an abundance of supermarkets, Aldi, Lidl, Morrison's, B&Q. So I'm like lucky for where I live. So that RA might work for me. It might not work for someone like Lewis, who's not as close. So that meant he might go towards
and Nottingham as well. For me, it's just like there's so many things around.
It just depends on your situation, doesn't it? Really, it's
It is.
I'll definitely just say what works for you, 100%.
It's not the area I live, because I live pretty much 5 minutes from London, but it's the ability to drive, and that's the ability I don't have, which obviously if you don't drive, it really limits you to RA. There's only so much you can do. You can't just rely on public transport.
That's what I was saying to people with private label. I'm like, people do ask me and they think like, oh, what do I need to do? And I'm like, to be honest, mate, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Like, you just learn as you go, and you get lucky and you don't get lucky. I've got people messaging me like they want to get into it, and they're like doing like, they do like 10 times the amount I do, and they're like asking me about private label, and it's like, well, something must be clicking in their head thinking like, how am I supposed to sell my OA or your RA or your wholesale? You can't, can you?
I think it's a mix of things though, because I think when you're doing RA and doing really good numbers, the problem is you're not really working on something. It's not a project. You're not building something, and I think
it's a job.
What entices people to go to private label is they're actually building something. They have a project to work on.
I started it 2 years ago, and I didn't know it. It's took me ages to figure it out. But you can start off small with that. But the thing with me is, I know what I'm going to get. Obviously, if my stuff doesn't get IP'd, obviously, which I'll sort out. But I know the minimum what I'm going to get a day, like ranging, and that takes the pressure off me. Thinking, shit, I need to like do more. I need to do more. Like, where's these leads? Like, why is the Discord groups not like? It takes the pressure off me. I know the minimum I'm going to get every day with that. And then obviously everything else is a bonus. And I'm not like constantly like, oh, I need to go and like, I need to sort out my reprice, or I need to do this, I need to do that. Why is things not selling? I'm not stressing about that because I know my minimum threshold with private label.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just takes the pressure off me because it's my, like, this is my income now.
Yeah.
So like,
pretty nice.
I've got like responsibilities now. So like that pressure is off me when I know like the private label's selling well. As opposed to like hamster wheel with RA, OA, like, oh, where's the next big deal coming in?
Yeah,
I don't need to worry about all that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Other worries, like IP claims and stuff.
That's the thing with you. Like, you want to go into social media doing softwares because you know you can sell it. You're not wanting to just do wholesale for the rest of your life, and because you're thinking, how am I supposed to sell that? Lewis is still got a job, so you know. Lewis has got something good because he's building up his Amazon while he's working and getting income from that way. But the thing with me and you is this is our income now, isn't it? So like, I don't want to go back to what I was
Pressure's
doing.
on.
So like, that's why I'm just doing private label, because I'm like, it just takes that pressure off me. Like I was working out, and I'm like, obviously, I was working out like what I was earning, and I was like, well, I probably would be matching what I was earning with my job just with private
That's
label,
good.
and this is out without RA and OA and all that. So
That's
like,
good.
just
Yeah.
takes the pressure. That's why I like say to people like I don't mind helping it because I prefer people to go into doing something like that, but they
Yeah,
can
Oh, yeah.
still do all your other stuff as well.
exactly.
Like
But I think you should do OA, RA first, like for multiple different reasons I've
Agreed.
talked about before. Like obviously because
there's
it's too much, I
so much
think,
to
to
learn.
learn. To, with
Yeah,
private label, but also as well, if you've got a successful, like let's say, Lewis, how much do you make every month? 2,000 profit. If you spend £1,000 on a private label product and it goes wrong, at least you've got something else to, like, pay that off. I guess you're like, well, it sucks. I've lost £1,000 in my private label product.
yeah,
You've got the
You've half
OA,
got to take that
RA
risk,
to
though. You take the risk.
cushion it a little bit. Whereas if you go into it from the beginning, unless you've got a lot of money, I mean, you could lose a lot of money and it just see it feel like a big failure.
Like
So
I've got
and plus all the learning you need to do around Amazon as well. It's hard enough doing OA,
yeah.
RA and learning all how Amazon works, let alone trying to throw in create listings, advertising, images,
it
text,
does
all
take
sorts of.
time.
It's too
Yeah,
much.
You've got to
PPC,
take that risk. Got to take
even
the
you
risk.
don't do PPC. You pay someone to do it.
But
yeah,
you've got to still have an understanding of it. It's like
Sure,
say that's what I'm
yeah.
saying about the accountancy side. Like it's no good just saying I'll pay an accountant, he can do it all. Like
Mm.
what happens if
you
they
need
get
to
it wrong? Like,
understand it
you've
exactly.
still got to have a basic understanding of it, and it's not easy. That's what
Well,
I'm
I
saying with
don't.
PPC.
With OSM, they basically did it
You'll
all for
learn.
me, but did it badly. So, now I've got to basically, I've got a
But
gap
it's a
in my
learning
knowledge
curve, though,
there.
isn't it? And you
Yeah,
realize why you need to know, and that's what I was saying with PPC. Like I needed to know, otherwise it's not. It's pointless paying somebody to do it if you don't have a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like anything I say, learn how to do it first,
yeah.
process it, and then,
but I just took the
process it,
risk.
and then teach someone else to do it or hire
But
someone
this
to
is
do
what
it.
I'm saying to other people as well. A lot of people won't share their bad stories, which is actually really bad because I hate when
Yeah.
successful sellers don't share their bad stories because they're just selling the dream. And it'd be nice to actually for people just to say what goes wrong because people's going to learn off that. Like, for instance, I'm not even going to lie. Like, more than half of the products that I've sort of done with private label, they're not. They're probably like failures. Do you know what I mean? It's not all
Mm,
sunshine and roses. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like
Oh, there's a
you,
lot of things that can go wrong. Yeah.
exactly that's what I'm
So,
saying. So like
even
I'll
with
tell people that.
OAR, you can't expect everything. Like Lewis, you've been clearing out this month. You can't expect every product to be a winner. Sometimes you
yeah,
just, no matter how much research and diligence, but the longer you do it, though, the more hits you get. That's the thing.
yeah.
And the
The
less.
stuff exactly the stuff I've better researched, what I thought would sell more is the stuff that's sold less. Like, and it's nothing more that you can do
Mm,
about it. And the stuff I thought wasn't going to sell well sold well. So
yeah,
some you don't know. It's taking the risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
um,
So,
yeah. I'll tell you today. To be honest, I took time off work. I'm house sitting because everyone's gone on holiday, and obviously with the amount of stuff that
quite so
can sit in a
quiet in the
house.
background.
Yeah, yeah. The amount of stuff that can sit in a house at every given time, someone kind of needs to be in at all times. So, having today off. So obviously I've had the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Um, I I couldn't do this full time
I
without
thought,
having
I
something
thought you were
else.
going to say that.
I'm
I was
sorry,
waiting for that.
but today I have been bored shitless, thinking, okay, what do I do next? Okay, I'm gonna source. I source for an hour, but my attention span's just not there. So I source for an
How have
hour.
you found it?
Okay, what else? Uh, uh, like I
How have
said,
you,
bored shitless because it's not enough. I think when obviously where I work like between a 35 to 47 hour week at work, and then at my other time I come to Amazon. My life is so busy. There is no like when I go to do Amazon stuff, it's like I have to get it done. I don't have a choice. Like if I don't get it done, it don't get done, and then I got to wait until Sunday when I got the next 3 days to do it. So like the pressure's there. Like I have to do it now. When today I don't have nothing to do, for example, and I'm sat here, things just get delayed. I'm like, I can do it in an hour. I'm just gonna go chill, watch
I
YouTube,
found
listen
that
to music.
because the
Why
job I
not?
was doing, I was like outside, so it's a big transition going from what you were doing before to this, and that's what I couldn't figure
Yeah,
out. I've gotten better at it, but for me, it's like sometimes I get all the stuff that I know I need to get done in the morning, then I've got the rest of the day, and then that's when you potentially use your creative side and you start doing things. That's why Simon's obviously like an octopus because he can fill his 12-hour days with all this different stuff he's doing. He probably doesn't have to, but I'm pretty sure
yeah,
you'd be bored just doing his
hundred
OA
percent,
all the time.
So, yeah,
hundred
people
percent.
ask me how long do I spend each day doing Amazon FBA? probably maybe 2 hours of just
That's what I'm saying. It's all you need sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know people that do crazy numbers, and they're always boasting. Like, obviously they don't. I know they don't, but they, the people that go, "Oh, I just do 1 hour a day." Like,
But
so
the
awesome.
thing I always say to people is, yes, I probably only do spend probably an average of 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day on Amazon FBA. But I did put 2 years of pretty much living and breathing Amazon up front into this before I got to this level. So
Yeah,
it's
it's like
again,
when you see people taking pictures of the beach, don't you? And like someone will go like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've just spent 20K now. I can take 4 weeks off or something
Yeah.
like that." Like they obviously don't, but like I kind of get what they're saying because they've built it up.
Yeah, it's
But
like
Yeah.
I
it's not
love to use the
possible.
analogy of like Tiger Woods. Like he makes it look easy to hit a golf shot, but and they're like, "Oh, you're so good at that," whatever. Like, but he's like, "Yeah, I spent 20 years, like 8 hours a day, every
That's what
Exactly.
I'm
day,
saying.
getting to that level." So I do make it, yeah. But obviously, at that point, he makes it look easy. But it's
That's why
obviously
Lewis is doing
all
the
the
right
legwork.
thing with he's still got a job, and that's what I was doing. Like I didn't just jump into this doing full time straight away. I had a job, so I did all that crap where you've got to like do your job, and then on the night time you're doing all the packing. So I've done all that.
Yeah.
Like you're building it up while you've got your job, and then eventually you take the plunge. But like I don't think
Yeah.
Lewis would have done the same. He wouldn't have just went from his job and just jumped straight into Amazon without
No,
having
I
any
don't. I
sort of,
don't recommend that to anybody to do that because you put too much pressure on yourself, and
True.
it's the risk is like
You need a lot of money as
obviously
well. You need a lot of money.
you need a lot behind you and to cater for yourself because at the end of the day you're relying on taking money out of the Amazon business, and in the position that I'm in, I have a salary. I don't need to take money out of the Amazon business. I can leave it in. I can put all profits back in. I can build a business quicker than someone who's just gone full time because inevitably I'm not taking nothing out. I don't have unnecessary expenses,
yeah.
etc.
I think people underestimate the expenses as you grow as
Yeah,
well. So I
exactly.
literally don't.
Yeah.
I don't really
I'll,
take much out anyway myself, just what I need. But yeah, it's
I'll
crazy.
link.
Like you're the last to get paid, so I think
Yeah.
people underestimate that. So
I'll
Yeah,
link my video below, where I did my August profits, and my SDK said 12,000. And by the time I'd taken off all my expenses and gone from my gross profit, net profit, I was down to about 9,300, I think.
yeah.
still
So,
good, but
Still a
you're
lot of
telling
money.
me that you're not just like
and I hadn't
portraying it
actually
as
paid myself at that point yet either. So that's,
you're not
I spent,
portraying it though like that way, though, are you? Like
yeah.
some people do. For instance, I could show people my gross profit, but they'll get a fright when they see my net profit when they see how much I
Yeah.
spend on advertising.
So, I mean, I do post those on like a daily basis, whatever, on my things, but I can't give a full breakdown of my net profit every day. It'd just be too much work. It's
Too
hard
much
enough
work.
just
Yeah.
to be to remind myself to post every day.
I know people that do really good numbers and they're like, they're quite like down to earth, and they'll like, I message them on Instagram, and even they're like, yeah, by the time I've paid all my expenses and what I pay myself, like people won't realize you're not like,
Yeah.
you're not thrush when you come, away. But that's just because
Yeah.
you're at that level where they're at the minute. Obviously, when they scale it more, but
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
don't. I think just people underestimate the expenses that goes into it. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Obviously, say don't quit your job unless you got. I mean, you need a lot of money. I mean, the rule that I've seen so far, it seems to be working for me as well. I source products that are around 30% ROI plus. But yeah, whatever you've got in stock, like if you've got 100K in stock, you can probably expect to make 10% a month profit, and that'd be gross profit. So around 10,000 profit. So if you're coming in with £1,000, you can realistically expect every month to make roughly £100 profit. Or if you're starting with
Yeah.
£10,000, you can expect roughly. There's obviously exceptions to all the rules and stuff, but that's a rule that I've seen that seems to be pretty, as an average thing, what you're going to
So
make.
you
So
go off stock and then 10% of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it has to be stock because I was speaking to someone the other day and they're like, well, I've got like 10,000 in stock and
Is that net
15,000.
profit? You mean or gross profit?
That's gross profit. Yeah, yeah. So, it's, I don't know if it plays out perfectly for everyone, but it's obviously
Probably
different
yeah.
for private
Probably
label.
yeah. It's probably somewhere close with
If
me.
you're sourcing, because like, ideally, if you're sourcing 33%, 30% ROI, then ideally, but you can't sell it all in 1 month, can you? So,
There's got to
No.
be a strict reason why you would, for me now, to buy 10%, 20% RI products. There's got to be a reason.
oh yeah, it
Otherwise,
has
it's
to
just not.
be crazy volume, basically. I have to be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Big
be.
volume. Some of
Yeah.
it turns quick.
This is another
Yeah.
thing that actually I learned from flipping at 30. So hopefully he doesn't mind me giving out all the good tips and stuff. But one thing he pointed out to me, and I don't know why I'd not really thought about this too much before. I mean, I kind of had in a way. I told my VAs to think about it this way, but never thought it myself. Was when I'm evaluating a product, I shouldn't just be looking at the ROI and what profit I'm going to make from that product on a single sale. I need to be evaluating how many sales I'm going to get per month from that listing, and then calculating how much I'm going to make on that listing per month. And if it's less than a certain amount, it's not worth the hassle for me anyway, at my level, to make less than say £30 per month per listing.
Yeah.
And I factor in all the admin, the hassle, returns, things like
Yeah.
that. So I used to tell my VAs £10 per month per listing. It's now going to be going up more than that. I think he's around
I think
£50.
it's a one-time thing as well. If it's not a
So,
replen, I know what you mean. Though.
yeah. So potentially, if it's a replen, it comes from a good. Again, this is where you can factor in: is it a site where you can just go on, download the invoice, and you're done, versus a site where you got to freaking chase the invoice. You probably need to make way more money to make up for that. Because
Like
it's obviously,
chasing it,
you
an
know,
invoice that's only got £10 profit on it, and you can't get the invoice.
it's not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it.
No,
You may as
it's
well
not.
not bother. So thinking about the business in terms of or in terms of when you're evaluating a product is looking at what I'm going to make per month. So take the number of the sales per month, the number of sellers on there, divide that by an equal amount just to give you a rough idea. You know, if you're going to sell 5 a month, for example, see what you're making per unit. If it's £5, then you make £25 profit per month. If your threshold's 30, then just pass on it basically. So unless you see something good for Q4 maybe or something like that. But yeah, that was just interesting just to solidify that in my mind, I suppose.
It's time though, isn't it? It's your time, and
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a one-time deal. It's a one-time deal. It's like
ordering takes time. It's hard work actually doing a lot of OA orders. Like VAs give you 5-10 leads a day. It actually takes a good hour or two to go through each one, evaluate it, and buy it. Depending
even
on
if
which.
somebody buys for you, it still takes time because you've got to analyze the deal. So
yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah. But at least it's a little
I'm
bit
still
quicker that
analyzing even
way.
though somebody's buying for me. But
Yeah.
like, it's like,
and then
is it then worth it with the invoice
and
and
then
stuff?
if
So.
you're prepping it yourself as well, you have to take delivery, unpack the box, dispose of the cardboard box, label it up, obviously pack it up, send it, you wait for UPS, all that, and deal with returns, occasional customer message, things like that. It
That's why I
adds
want
up.
to get people to do FBM and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
it's.
I've been doing my packing in the morning actually.
Yeah,
I
so
find I learned quite in that UPS, if you schedule it before 12 o'clock, they will collect it the same day. So
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
usually
doing that.
try and do mine in the
Oh
morning. I
yeah,
do my RA
definitely. Yeah.
and stuff in the morning. So
I thought that was common knowledge. If you did it before 12 p.m., they'd collect it. Yeah. So,
Well,
love
it probably is,
Okay.
but obviously it's not nothing I tried at the beginning. I used to always do my packing as soon as I came home
Yeah.
from work, etc. So it's not something I checked.
No, yeah. So, but no, yeah, interesting stuff. Anyway, but yeah, still a good business to get into. We've been maybe negative about some of the stuff, but no, I'm still very bullish on Amazon FBA. I think it could be life changing for people, which is why I
Yeah.
teach it to people. And
just keep screenshot on your orange bars, and then you're like, yeah, it's all
yeah,
good.
exactly. Do you know what's hilarious? In the past 2 years, I've probably logged into the Amazon app, less than 5 times. I know people love to look at the orange bars, but the Amazon app on your phone. I just don't
Yeah.
see the need to ever log into that. Never felt the need. So I've been
Well,
in there
you're not
like
on your phone, are you? So that's probably why.
no, but like I just don't even look at it. That just doesn't interest. Just I don't know. Yeah, there's no need to see the orange
Yeah,
bars.
but you'll be on Seller Central though.
Yeah, true, but not for the orange bars though. People posting orange bars and stuff like it just.
All right,
me.
you'll just
Pointless.
use Seller Toolkit, won't you?
Yeah, that's what I refresh constantly.
Yeah. I'll post the orange bars.
But it's just pointless. And it's like when people ask me what my sales are, I actually got asked a lot, like, "Oh, what you sales this month at the Seller meetup?" And I was like, I have no clue what it was this month, last month, because I never even look at my sales. It's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, it is irrelevant when you think that anybody could sell. Every business is different, and you could be selling £100,000 in sales and only make like 10,000, and then someone could be doing 100,000 sales.
That's why
and make 70,000. I mean, like it's
all I care about is profit. Like we're talking in the group yesterday, like flipping at 30 was in there. I was saying, yesterday I made £500 profit, whatever. And I was running at like 45% ROI. Like £540 I made. He had made £1,200 at like 20% ROI. So you could say the ROI figures were less. Which position would I rather be in? Of course, I'd rather be the person making £1,200 profit. Of course, I would. I don't care about the other figures. If I can make the profit, and it obviously is viable,
exactly. Yep.
all I care about. I'd much rather be in his position. My figures look way prettier in terms of the sales to profit and the unit and the ROI. But at the end of the day, the one thing that looks even prettier there is a big fat profit number.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying with sales and that. I'm like, for me, it's like people show their gross profit, but they don't show their net profit. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because I do private label, so I'm more into margins and
You've
stuff like
got
that.
so that's
Yeah.
another thing that flipping at 30 said I need to stop thinking in terms of ROI and start thinking in terms of margin. And I couldn't even tell you right now, I couldn't even define profit margin
Ooh,
to
you're going to
you.
go into the dark side.
So, but this is just obviously he's as I always say, one of my favorite phrases. I've got a bunch of them, but one of them is like, "There's always a bigger fish." But to get to
Yeah.
that next level for me, I need to start changing my mindset and thinking bigger and thinking like about profit margin now rather than ROI.
You'll see what he means when you
Yeah,
trust us. When you start going into margins, you'll
yeah.
understand why it's more important because
So it's
yeah,
but right
you'll see.
now I couldn't even define profit margin to you, and I did a degree in economics. So,
Not blimey, that's
but
I don't know
yeah,
if that's your learning or their teaching ability.
well, it was like I'm 38 now, so yeah, 15, 18 years ago. So, and I did scrape through it.
Someone that like yeah, like
That
I
is
was
a
too
long
busy.
time
I was too
ago.
busy playing
someone can
poker.
explain it 1,000 times, and you'll still be like, oh, what is it
No, if
again?
I actually looked it up, I'd be like, okay, but because I never refer to it each day or look at it, then it doesn't really sink
No.
The
in. But
reason
once
why it's
I,
important private label is because you've got your ad costs, but you need to work out your profit margin before and after your ad costs. That's why margins is like just a big thing. That's why it's like you can have like a 40% profit margin product, but by the time you've paid for your ads, depending on obviously your sales through, it could be like 10% profit margin. So then it's not worth it. So that's why it's important to know.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's something I need to look into anyway. But as I grow my business, hopefully in Q4, I guess we'll wrap it up in a few minutes. But yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
Q4 will be making a lot of money. What are your predictions for Q4? What do you hope to make in December anyway? What's your realistic expectation?
Depends on what I make in September.
To
So
be honest, I'm more as long as I beat the prior year. I know I'm progressing. I don't
I
really
can actually honestly
compare
see
month to month.
if I recover what I'm needing to recover, I could probably see us doing like 20K in December.
That's what I'm
Profit.
hoping
because
for. Yeah,
because
20,000 profit. Yeah,
we haven't even
my
scratched
goal.
the surface, have we? Really, like in terms
Yeah.
of ordering. So it's absolutely
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my goal is 20,000. I'm hoping I'm going to hit 30, but realistic, if I get to 20, I'll be happy with that. Obviously, this month I'm just crushing it, but
It's never enough, though,
it's
is it? Have you noticed with numbers? Do you not think? I mean,
yeah.
it's just
So
No,
yeah,
it's
the only thing
never
that
enough.
worries me this month is, as I was saying to Lewis at the beginning of the call, was I'm seeing a lot of my profits now coming from these like one-time deals. So I guess that is what OAR is basically. It's like these
Yep.
one-time deals. I'm like, it's all
Yep.
my W.H. Smith stuff selling really well right now. So
Yep.
when that's gone, that's gone. Like I sold a decent thing that
that's why I like the private label in a way, because
yeah.
like with eight away, you'll admit
But
yourself it's
the
not.
thing is, though, in a way, I'm like, oh, I'm really worried about that. But at the same time, I'm like, there's always a deal. So why am I
Oh
worried?
yeah, definitely.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's always a deal. There's more deals. I don't have enough money to buy the deals right now.
Yeah. When
So
one
There's
door
always
closes,
something.
one opens.
I
it's
think it's
sometimes
just
you look
like
at it
having
and think,
that baseline, though, in it, like what you know you're going to get, sort of
yeah,
thing.
but my replens are down right now, so I don't have any. I actually don't think I've got any replens, which is not great. So
Yeah,
I need to get work back on that again. Maybe next year I'll be looking more into replens. But yeah, going back to the whole scaling thing though, like I'm going to get my VAs to start buying for me and all that kind of stuff like that. So that's an important step that I'll be learning as well. But yeah, good predictions there, guys. Yeah, I'm 20,000 to 30,000 for Christmas. You're 20,000, Adam, and Lewis is looking for. Let's go for 5,000, shall we? And see if we can
Yeah, we'll say 5. But
get more.
if I beat last year, I'm progressing. That's how I see it.
Maybe I'll throw
But
you a few leads to help you out. So,
yeah, that'll help. Oh,
so
actually, funny. I got a phone call from Amex today that said, "Oh, you're spending more than you normally spend, so your business must be doing well. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Amazon." He was like, "Oh, okay." And then I was explaining to him because obviously a lot of people don't realize that when you receive a package from Amazon, actually getting it from Amazon themselves and getting it from a seller is completely different because
yeah.
obviously we stick the labels on and Amazon don't. So he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, that's what them labels are about." I was like, "Yeah, you buy it from a seller." It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, at least I'm supporting a small business." And I was like, "Yeah, exactly."
people don't see
Yeah.
the buy box properly, do they? Like who's actually.
No, they don't. They don't. But to be
I like
honest,
to think they
before
would.
Amazon, I didn't know either.
Yeah,
I
so I
didn't
like
think
to
I
think they
noticed.
don't because yeah, maybe the returns wouldn't be quite as high. Um, another downside of Amazon.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think people just return it based on the fact that they're just shoving it back to Amazon. I don't think they
yeah,
actually think that they are actually hurting someone.
no, yeah, absolutely hurting a small business. So
Yeah.
Cool. Right, let's wrap it up there. Anyway, guys, it's been a long one actually. Hopefully, people enjoy this. The longer it is, the longer I've got to edit. So the more editing I've got to do. So, but no, it's been really good to get back onto this. We're going to try and make this a regular thing. Hopefully, every couple of weeks will be like clockwork of doing these. Keeping up with the current events on Amazon, how we're progressing, everything like that. So, thanks, guys, for jumping on. Anyway, any final words for our audience?
Nope.
Nope.
Not
Okay,
from
that's
me.
good bit of wisdom. What was that, Adam?
Hustling.
Keep hustling. Yeah, keep hustling. There you go. That will make t-shirts. Keep hustling.
Keep hustling,
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you.